Look at Google Earth sometime and look at Hawaii, and you'll see this chain of islands that goes underground, buries themselves in the water, goes all the way up to the top of the earth in Siberia. So all of those, in theory, were here at one time. Maybe held civilizations, maybe had different land, animals, birds, etc., etc. You know, it's a lot of thought that you could put into it, but technically it could have been millions and millions or billions and billions of years since the earth was pretty much formed, that this hotspot has been continuing to just send islands off the channel.
So we're always moving the islands.
Okay.
We're always moving northward.
Northward.
It never stops, but only about 3 inches a year. But you multiply that by 1,000,000 years, that's a long move.
Yeah, yeah.
So someday Hawaii Island will start to erode away by rain, wind, and the ocean, and become an atoll maybe millions and millions of years from now, or it may stay in volcanic for millions of years. Nobody knows.
Okay, now that said, let's pretend I'm Maui. Hi. Maui's Haleakala summit last went off about 200 years ago. There was a lava flow. It didn't move that far in 200 years that it's far enough away from Hawaii.
Yeah.
They still think that Kohala is more dormant or less likely to go off than Haleakala. Come back up the chain to Oahu. Now I'm Diamond Head. Hey, I went off, what, 1,000 years ago? Something like that? A few hundred years ago? 1,000 years ago? So the bottom line is the plumbing under Hawaii can also dramatically shift and go to the other islands or go out to the Lohi'i Seamount or do really whatever it wants. So part of it is that it's the earth, and the inner workings of it are probably so complicated and probably connected to things that are much greater than the forces on our planet. We know for sure that these oceans and the tides move around by how big and how close the moon is to our planet. So I've often thought in the past that maybe the planets could be connected as far as magnetism and things like that with the inner workings of the earth and the volcanoes. And you know, all that said, I don't think we have too terribly much understanding of how it really works as far as science goes, but the last 100 or so years, there's been a lot of advancement in technology, and all of a sudden scientists can pinpoint a lot of things that were just guesses before.
You know, because like John said, Kohala's been about 60,000 years, but Oahu's only been 1,000 years.
Oh.
So obviously the hot spot, not that hot spot, but somewhere under these islands, it can
Yeah.
and has re-erupted. Will it happen again here or Oahu?
We don't know.
knows.
Okay, yeah.
But its potential is high.
And kind of to hint on what you were talking about earlier, when we say that there will be earthquakes before lava, that's because the ground is rock. And when the rock melts, it becomes lava, okay? Or magma. When it becomes above the ground, then it's lava. But for it to come above the ground, it literally needs to force rock apart. And forcing rock apart is earthquakes.
Yeah.
And so for that lava to come to the surface to where we'll ever even see it, you have to have earthquakes. So it usually starts with a big one that dislodges something, and then all of a sudden you start getting series of them. Like when this all started over the summer, this on April 30th just pretty much fell into the ground. And then within a few days, I think on April 3rd or 6th or 5th or something, we had a 6.9 earthquake. And basically they think that it was part of the flank down here moving about 15 feet or 12 feet. And so that made a lot of space somewhere inside the volcano. And then as all of this magma is draining and then the lava lake starts draining down the rift and coming in here, all of these intrusions are making the lava that's moving its way through the rift here cause earthquakes. And we're feeling them all day long. And in Leilani subdivision, it just started rocking. And then the ground started splitting open. And there were cracks, and you start seeing steam come out of the asphalt, and we're like, uh-oh, here it comes. And then before you know it, fissure eruptions start, and there's literally lava shooting out of the ground into the air. And it progressed over a few weeks. 24 fissures opened up. And after all of them opened up, all of a sudden it coalesced back to fissure 8 and turned into a massive river that basically came down here and made this whole area. This was kind of the earlier parts of the eruption, but it was like a 2.5 month event that nobody expected. No one in modern time, other than guys like Jeff, have ever seen anything like this. So it was new for most of the scientists that work here, for sure, right?
It was different.
Don seen something like that, Truesdale maybe.
But imagine being at home in Leilani with your kids playing in the backyard, and this crack starts to open up across your yard and right through your house. In an hour, your house is gone. That's what happened to hundreds of homes down there before they got buried. Then the lava came down from the fissure and took out 700 homes or more down here by the ocean. It's as if the houses never existed. There's nothing left.
There were these really precious ponds that were called the Champagne Ponds, where some of the most amazing tide pools, and you could swim, and almost one of the best on the planet, and they're gone. And they're warm ponds, one of the only natural warm spring ponds everybody would go swim at, and it almost took out Pohoiki too. Did you guys go down there?
No.
The newest black sand beach on the planet Earth is right here. All of this lava going into the water explodes into sand and fine bits of gravel and stuff like that. And so as the tides wash it, it all formed this huge half moon bay right here and basically closed off the only boat ramp on this side of the island. And so now the newest black sand beach in the world is right there. We're up here at the park. If you were to go down here towards Hilo and then come down here to Pahoa and go through and take this road down, you could drive right to the beach, and it's beautiful.
It's the newest beach in the world. If you have time, you should see it. It's pretty cool.
Okay. What's the beach name?
Pohoiki.
Pohoiki.
We can write it down and stuff.
Okay.
It's open to the public now, but it's a brand new, huge black sand beach. It's pretty impressive. What used to be a beautiful bay is now a beautiful beach.
Yeah.
But over here was a disaster. About 800 homes are buried. $25 million homes were gone in a matter of a few hours. The lava that came down here as it cooled and was flowing, it got about 40 feet thick and bulldozed right through the houses. And it was right through everything. It was a major disaster. But the volume of lava was not expected. It was just unprecedented. And to this day, and for years, they're going to be writing up about it, the scientists. So why was it so big, and what happened in the volcano to make it so big? It's still not fully understood yet. So it's a very dynamic volcano island. Things are always on the move. So, we're going to go from here and take a hike. You ready?